Okay, well, this is the recap to our fifth evening of photoshopping, and what a wild night it was. Probably a little too fast-paced, maybe a little too much stuff. What I do believe is that in 7 days, all of you will probably come up with some pretty awesome Maui ads. And I'm pretty excited that's going to be happening. So one of the things that we tried to do last night was change the color of that darn murky gray ocean or sky into something happy and blue, and that was really challenging. And one of the things that we never did in class, even though you have this picture, was change the color of the water in this particular picture into something bluer. And this water has some blue in it, as you can see. The water that we're dealing with in the sky in particular in the Maui image is really tough. In class, what I would have done with this water here is gone back to these adjustment layers and used the curves. And I encourage you to explore the options curves might have for you in not so much the sky, but maybe the water in the Maui Ad. So if in the adjustments panel, the curves presets have several presets. And if, for example, if I click on darker, right away it creates a little darker water there, and it's not bluer exactly, but a bit. But what I want to show you is the colors channels up here that you can select red, green, or blue from in this drop-down menu. And if I go to blue here, I can take this line, which is the curves and where the color appears in this image, and if I just click and hold and I push it up, I can make the water look ridiculously blue, which is probably too much, but I definitely can make it look a little bluer by increasing the value of the blue in this image. So there's what it looked like without that, and there's what it looks like with it. So you know, that's one of these adjustment layers that could be valuable in your ocean anyway, in the Maui Ad. So what we started with last night were two pictures. We had our flower and we had the dismal ocean. And the first thing that we did last night was create a new file that was 6 inches wide and 4 inches tall, and that's just a 6x4 photo basically. So we used the preset photo, and we found the landscape 4x6 and clicked OK. And then we used rulers to mark off a 1/2 inch all the way around, because we decided that we wanted to make our leaf float over the top of the ocean and extend beyond it, but in order to do that we needed to have some space out here and out here for that to happen. So first thing we did was we used created a new document with and set up our guides at a 1/2 inch all the way around. And then we came over here to our ocean, and we used the crop tool to change the width to 5 inches and the height to 3 inches, because we were losing an inch all the way around the picture. And we cropped this image, and the one thing we wanted to make sure we cropped out was the tire tracks in the lower right corner. We kind of messed around with wondering where the center of this image should be and where these rocks might be, but we really wanted to put the text in the lower right corner. So you know, we put the horizon about at the top third of the image approximately. And so we cropped the image. Then we selected the sky, and I'm not going to be super particular here, but we selected the sky and we were stuck with the fuzzy foam area here. So how did we change the foam to something soft? And what we did last night was we learned a little bit about the brush options and how hardness affects what is selected here. So right now, if I were to use the quick mask here, the only place I can work on is the sky, but I don't want to work on the foam. So I am going to use a brush here to paint over this foam, but the edges are fuzzy, so we turned the hardness way down and created a feeling of fuzz. And we switched brushes actually. For right this moment I am not going to do that, but I am going to get some of that fuzz in there. So now what we did was we just painted over the sky. And here again, this is where maybe using the curves might help. We could make it lighter and try and grab the blue and see if we can pump up some sky look into it there. That's not bad. I am not going to do that because that's not what we did last night, but that's using the curves in the sky, and that actually looks fairly good. I wish I would have figured that one out last night. What I did find out again that we looked at last night, which was really helpful, was when we turned off, or not turned off, but when we trashed the adjustment layer, we lost our selection. So select, reselect. That's the tip of the week right there to get it back. What we did last night was we just painted some blue over the sky, but we didn't do it on the background layer, of course. We added a new layer. We got a really big brush, and we painted some blue color into the sky at a very low opacity, and same sort of effect there. So that's what we did to the sky last night. And then the next thing we did was try to grab the ocean but not the sand. I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to grab the sand and lighten it up before I do the ocean. So I'm going to come back here to my background, and I'm just going to use the quick select tool down here and try and grab that sand. But we wanted to kind of blur this line a little bit here where the water is. So again, we used a really soft brush, and a pretty large one, to get some of this blended a little more softly along this line in the water. So to do that, we use the quick mask, and we just painted some of this across here, and then take it away out here because that's a little much. So my opacity is also way down here. Not only is the brush soft, but it might be too much. But I have a soft brush, and I'm just trying to blend in this line a bit along this water. So that might be okay right about there. So what we did here with the water was, all we did here was a real quick brightness. So we made the sand a little brighter so it appeared a little lighter. And then we worked on the ocean, and to select the ocean, I think I am going to just use the magnetic lasso for the horizon line, and then kind of, actually we don't want that foam, so I'm going to go around the rock. I'll take that out in a second. Get the horizon line again, come down here, and this is all going to be fuzzy along this part. And so now I'm going to use the quick mask to fine tune this because I messed up right here. I don't want to change the color of the rock. So I'm going to go into the quick mask. I'm going to make sure my brush is small and has a 100% hardness here. And I'm going to go in here and paint in black to get my rock here. And again, I'm not going to do this all perfectly right now because I'm trying to keep it under 12 minutes. But we're going to lower the hardness to soften up this edge and take out this side over here that I missed, and over here. So soften up the brush a little bit, make it a little larger, and try and soften this edge a little so it's not so obvious. So what we had done last night in the adjustment layers here was to use the Hue and Saturation, and somebody had mentioned the cyanotype, and that was a little too blue for me, but I'm going to go with it again because that's what we did last night. In fact, I'm just going to leave it just like this. Unfortunately, the sky now is not exactly what I would want, but anyway, it does make the ocean a little bit bluer. So now we have a happier looking beach scene, and we have our document here. So to get this picture into this one with just the keyboard, you can click Control A as select all, so you can see that I have the whole image selected here. And you know, actually what we had done before too was we flattened this. So that was my mistake there. We need to flatten the image. And now Control A, select all, Control C copies it. We're going to come over here, Control V, and it fits nicely inside of our little frame. So the next thing we did was we grabbed the flower. We used the magnetic lasso and the quick mask. Now on this one, if you'll recall, when we used the quick mask, it was kind of hard to see because there was so much red. So if you double click on the quick mask icon at the bottom of your toolbar, you can click on color and you can change the color of the mask from red to blue or some other color, and that will let you see the mask a little bit better. So I am going to just, I have this selected. I'm going to go to Control C to copy it. I'm going to come back over here to our image that we're working on, and Control V, which will paste that. And then I'm just going to free transform it a bit, make it slightly smaller, turn it a little bit, and I think we had it something like this or so. So there's, I mean, this is about what we drew. And now the next part was we added the text down here, and I'm hoping here in 1 second I am going to get to how to download a font. So I'm going to go with kind of an orangey color font here. That's kind of weird. Again, you guys can mess with these fonts. And there was more information that needs to be provided on here, but this was kind of the goal, was to, and this is about what we accomplished last night. So, what did we do last night when we went to download a font? And hopefully I'm going to be able to do that for you real quickly right now. Here is a look at 1001 freefonts.com, and you can find a font in here. There are links in the class, so I'm going to go find some font that looks elegant, so I'm going to go to handwriting because it's a nice place. None of these are too elegant looking. We'll go with this. This looks kind of fun. So download to Windows. And I wonder how this is going to work here. So you can't quite see this right now, but it's downloaded the folder. I am going to show this in the folder, and hopefully that'll pop up here. Yep, awesome. So here is the folder right here, and I'm going to go ahead and copy that and put it onto my desktop here. So here is my desktop, and paste. So here is the folder. This is probably hard to see. I'm going to right click and go to extract all, which is going to unzip it. So here's the font. It's a true type font file, and you can either drag it into your fonts folder or you can go to right click and go to install. So I already have this installed, but what a pick. Out of all of those, I picked one I already had. How strange is that? So I'm going to click yes, and it'll say that it's installing this font. So now when I go back to Photoshop, one of my fonts should be this assign font. There it is. So I'm going to use this font and make it a little larger, and it looks like it's bold. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to unbold it, and there we go. So here's my cool looking Maui in font. And that is what we did last night. And I think that you know, all of you are going to do lots of work this week. We have two really crummy pictures to work with. Well, one crummy picture, one pretty picture. But the trick is to bring these in looking nice and enticing, and you want to go to Maui and be in this place. So remember, they don't have to be completely different images, but I would like you to bring in 3 4x6 advertisements for the Maui Inn, or email them to me. And that's what we did last week. And I hope that helps. And I wonder how long this is.